Hi, I'm Simon Rushton and this is Taxi Chronicles Podcast. On this podcast, we spontaneously interview unsuspecting passengers with their permission, allowing them to share their intimate life stories and concerns. As our slogan states, real riders, real stories. Some riders prefer to be anonymous, while others ask me to tell their story later on. Either way, there are all genuine 5 to 10 minutes stories, so sit back and enjoy this episode. Morning. Yes, another rider, another day, another story. Today we've got Raj in the vehicle. Gonna tell us, he's a bit of an entrepreneur, to be honest. He's an accountant for corporates, but he's also got his consultancy. He's also got his hands in import-export and various other businesses. So we've got a long journey. It's an hour and 3 minutes, but you know how we do. We'll break things up if the conversation gets too long, but I'm sure we're going to be vary from one place to another. So Raj, welcome to have you.
Appreciate you bringing me on here.
Okay, that's good.
Appreciate that, Simon.
So tell us, let's start with who you are. You're a young British-born guy, I take it?
No, Indian-born. Born in South India, came here when I was 10.
Okay.
Done my secondary education here. Yeah, here I am.
What was that like? What was the transition from living in India to
hard?
Here?
It's a different lifestyle altogether, to be honest. So it's hard getting used to this lifestyle as a kid. Getting, obviously, mixing along amongst crowds, finding the right people to obviously be friends with and stuff. But yeah, it was initially hard, but I got used to it. Obviously went to school, found obviously any good friends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What was the hardest thing?
Hardest thing, I think, for myself, obviously, because I could speak English, but it wasn't my main language. So it's transitioning into having that English language as obviously day to day. That was my harder thing for me, because my main language, obviously being in India, was Hindi. So I knew everything in terms of how they do it. So coming here as a kid, trying to get along with everyone, trying to see how they get on with their life was the initial hard part. But yeah, it was good change.
Okay. If somebody was coming over from India like you, apart from the language, what would be your advice to them?
Advice is just learn as much as possible when you get here, because it's two separate lifestyles. If you come over now in 2020, it's a different ball game, because India has obviously transformed. It's more modern, getting on with the things. Technology has obviously taken things a different way, so it's a lot easier nowadays. But I'd say learn as much as possible, because lifestyle in UK is a whole different ball game to India. India, you have a lot of things given to you. A lot of things are easier to get by. You can't do much DIY. You call someone, call an electrician, call a gardener, it's done in no time. And it's small money compared to obviously what you pay here for the same services.
Yeah.
So it's about learning and actually being able to do it yourself, as they say in this country. That's what I'd suggest for someone coming in new. Learn and adapt.
Okay. What made you choose accountancy?
Accountancy wasn't actually my niche. I've obviously, since I come out of university, I've been in sales. So I've sold in different industries, telecoms, magazines, education, crash courses for driving licenses. And I thought, well, I wanted to do financial sales for a long time. So I came into accountancy and thought, okay, this is something I could actually see myself in the long term. So I've been in the job nearly 3 years now. So I'm obviously focused on the sales side of accountancy, getting more clients in, making sure they obviously save money. At the end of the day, provide them with a service which benefits them going forward.
So how does that work? Because we understand what you do, or the purpose, but you just look at clients on the internet and you think you approach them with that we could save you money kind of thing?
Yeah, that's it. So there's different services. Obviously, it is an accountancy firm, but at the end of the day, there's different services within accountancy as well. You've got payroll, which is one of the main services for companies. So it's about approaching a company, saying how you manage your payroll at the moment and how we do it for you can save you funds, can bring you more resources which you can look to reinvest into the company rather than spend it on operational costs at the end of the day.
Is that usually software based?
Software based, yeah. So software based, and outsourcing payroll means that rather than having 1-2 people within the firm doing it, you can outsource it, have a whole team customer service as well as payroll handling it for you, and that's a headache taken away from you as a company.
Okay. All right. So it's just a section, and ideally that should be cheaper for them.
Oh, 100%, because paying someone their salary to do it and committing them, then paying for licenses for softwares, we take that headache away from them. And at the same time, having someone in customer service answer those queries, them knowing what they're talking about.
And also, you don't have to worry about sick pay if they get pregnant.
That's
and
it.
All the rest
We
of
deal with all of that. Any paperwork, P45, P60s come through us. So that's not a headache they need to deal with.
And do you, in turn, are you held accountable for all their tax?
Yes. So with any HMRC queries, anything HMRC or payroll accountancy related comes to us. We're liable.
Okay.
Not them as a company owner.
I can see as an employer or owner of a company, that's something that would perk your interest.
100%.
Because
100%.
you're just like, okay, let someone else do that.
And being in the industry for so long, especially the owner of the company, being in the industry for about 15, 20 years now, he knows the ins and outs of it. He knows what to do, what not to do, how to handle certain situations. And it's good having that experience behind you. It helps rather than, imagine you start a company 10 years ago, you're still learning the bits and bobs and how to do every part of the company, especially the HMRC side. So having someone that's able to do it for you, take the headache from you so you can focus on the business and making money, it's a win-win.
If you owned your own company, like in that scale, would you do the same branch?
100%. There's massive savings, obviously, financially as well as time. For a business owner, for a small business owner anyway, time is essential. As everyone knows, a small business owner spends 16, 18 hours a day looking after their business. If those 16 hours, 18 hours, 2 or 3 hours a day, or even an hour a day out of that is focused on accountancy, finances, payroll, admin, HR, etc., that can be taken away from them. That gives them the hour or two a day to focus on making that money. That's what they're there for. That's why they opened the business in the first place. So it makes more sense doing it that way. Even me as a business owner, I'd lay off that responsibility onto a company like ours, so I could focus on actually the reason I opened the business.
Yeah, I'm with you. So you said you used to play football?
Football, cricket, basketball. Basketball was my main focus.
Is basketball common in India?
No, cricket obviously. I grew up on cricket. The first thing I ever got given in my hand as a sporting object was a cricket bat.
Okay.
And that's what I grew up with. Cricket obviously is in my blood, as you can imagine, being Indian. But basketball was something which took my interest immediately because of my height. Obviously tall.
Yeah. It's a big change, isn't it?
Oh, it's a big change, 100%.
One, you're really sweating your bollocks off. The others, you're looking pretty in the white.
That's it, pretty wide. That's it. That is literally it. With basketball, as I said, it piqued my interest because obviously my body and so forth. That was more when I came to this country. When I was in India, it was cricket. Okay. Yeah.
That's good.
But yeah, football was more just with friends. Never actually looked, and I don't think I'm even able, talent-wise, to go anywhere near professional. Basketball, I've played semi-professional before.
Was that in England?
In England, yes. I used to play for a team in my area called Dartford Sharks.
Okay.
Yeah, played for them. Tried out for London Tigers, but that was near the time where I let my bad habits get the toll off me, so I weren't fit enough.
Wasn't there a team called, is it Brixton Top Cats or something?
Brixton Cats is there. London Tigers is probably the biggest team in London because that actually represents nationally as well as obviously internationally.
Okay.
But for you to, I'd done the tryout for them. It was a 3-hour tryout and it literally ended up nowhere. After the 3 hours, I was out of it. But as I said, that was due to my bad habits taking toll.
What, is it unfit or?
Unfit. Because that was about 6 or 8, I'd say about a year after I started smoking, which is a bad habit. Anyone listening, do not start smoking. Smoking is the last thing I'd recommend to anyone.
But you still smoke now?
I still smoke.
I know.
10 years down the line, I'm still in the same habit.
So, okay, so where's this Brixton basketball team come in? What are they called?
Brixton Cats, I don't know much about them. I haven't actually been involved with them. My team was more focused on the Kent League, not the London side.
Oh, there's lots of...
there's lots of similar leagues. To football, there's various leagues when it comes down to it.
I didn't think basketball was that popular.
No, basketball is big. It's more underground and obviously it's, as everyone imagines, it's more of an American thing. But UK has come up in basketball. compete in Europe. Spain's big in basketball.
Yeah, I know Spain.
Spain's massive in basketball. Similar to football, all football teams have a relative basketball team at the same time. Real Madrid, Barcelona, they have their basketball team. UK is not as big, but that's, even me, I didn't actually pursue that any further. Being an Indian family, got told to pursue the educational side of life. So as soon as I hit college, went to university and started working after that. And now it's more coaching as and when for cricket and basketball, but apart from that it's just more leisure activity.
If you had to choose between the two, cricket or basketball, what would you choose?
If I could get back to my fitness, basketball, but cricket I could still do now because my fitness level at the moment is still on par to be able to do, not professional cricket, but if I keep going at it, I can get to that level with cricket again.
But is there really I would have, and I'm talking out of ignorance here, I would have thought cricket, there's more of a flexibility level than an actual fitness level, because I suppose when you hit the ball, you've got to run, haven't you?
That it's in its own place, and even as a fielder, because obviously the three parts you have in cricket is the batsman, the bowler, and a fielder. And the fielder is the one when the ball gets hit, they're the ones running for the ball trying to get it back. Hence why obviously that's more fitness needed than anything else. But batsman is just obviously back and forth from a crease, so it is that quick sprint that's needed for being a batsman. But it's more fielder running after the ball and been able to obviously launch the ball from the edge of the boundary back towards the pitch. For able to obviously the bowler or the fielder's close to the pitch to be able to get it.
Cricket, is that originally an Indian game like?
Yeah, it's an originally Indian game. It's actually an English game, funny enough, but it was English when they created it when they were in India. And hence why obviously India is so enthusiastic about cricket.
Oh, makes sense, because you lot have that polo that you invented for
polo's there, hockey's there. Hockey's an Indian sport.
How is it for battle fighting? I know polo was
that's obviously an old school game that obviously originated from there. Hockey's an Indian sport. Hockey is something that is a national sport for India as well.
Okay.
And they're recently coming into football. We've got a couple of guys who are obviously doing big things in football. Worldwide actually. There's one player who's been recognised worldwide, his name is Sunil Chetri. He's doing very well in football. Very well. He's going to go far.
That's good.
Obviously in the past Indians weren't really known for football.
Or physical sports, really.
Physical sport, and even the way off it, because I read a fact a few years back, Indians actually got disqualified from football because they wanted to play barefoot.
Well, why is that bad though?
Yeah, because obviously everyone else had studs on.
Yeah,
and Indians were coming in with bare feet.
You just don't well, if you get stepped on, that's your problem, isn't it?
But
kind of thing.
As a regulation in football, everyone has to wear that, and obviously at that time, I think I'm talking 1920s, 30s, 40s, 50s, that kind of era.
Yeah.
That era is when that fact was there. But recently, India's obviously got a full team now.
Yeah.
We might even, obviously not this World Cup, hopefully 26 or 30 World Cup. We might be there. We've got good potential coming in for football, 100%. India's definitely growing in football, because Bangladesh is a country that's always been about football. Whereas India's recently coming into it, getting more enthusiastic about it, actually working towards it and getting funded, which is the main thing, because obviously having funding for football is hard in India, because
any company who wants, if you want to make money, you fund something in India, you're going to do well, isn't it?
That's it.
Like India, China, anywhere with a massive population.
That's it. And India's been that country in the past that's always been focused on men's teams. Women's teams weren't as funded or as represented. But even that's coming in now, like Indian hockey team, Indian football team, Indian cricket team.
Yeah, I saw a documentary on women wrestling in India, the young girls. And she was really good. She was beating quite a few boys. Yeah. But it's seen as obviously taboo by the elders.
That's it, because
but the dad was supportive of his daughter.
Yeah, they actually made a movie out of that. There's a Bollywood movie that's been made out of that.
Okay.
Yeah, out of that. I can't remember the name on top of my head, but it stars one of the great actors, Amir Khan. Okay. They've actually made a movie out of that. There's I think 2 or 3 sisters, and he being the dad, pushing them to obviously keep going for that Indian wrestling.
Talking about that, movies, have you seen that movie Extraction?
Extraction? No, I haven't.
You haven't?
No.
It's India, Pakistan and drug lords.
Oh wow.
It's on Netflix. It's superb. There's this Indian actor.
Yep.
I always mention, I don't know his name. He's got long hair in the movie. He's like the right-hand man to the boss who's in jail.
Okay.
And he's really good.
Extraction, yeah.
Extraction, yeah, Netflix.
Definitely have to look into
that. American guy who's like the star, you could say.
Yeah.
Or is he Australian? I don't know. I think he's Australian. No, he's Australian.
Okay.
But it's good. And there's this Indian woman. Oh my gosh, I love that woman. Man. Not because she looks really sexy, because she's skinny, and I don't like skinny women. But well, she's very beautiful. I'll give her that. And she's just like. Well, you lot on your garments, it's always pure quality. I have to hand that to you.
Of course.
You ain't playing around with the jewelry and the silks and all the satins and all those things. There's no such thing as cotton.
We definitely know our fabrics, 100%. Nylon, silk.
But the women, the man's in trouble. I'll just tell you this bit. The man's in trouble. He's on the bridge and he's saying, I need backup.
Oh, yeah.
Next clip you see is these 3 black 4x4 vehicles heading through like the slums of wherever
this place,
India to like the border. So it's the borders, and all you see here on the mic is we're on our way. When they get there, there's a sniper on the Bangladesh side trying to pick off this man, and there's a helicopter with like not a 50 cal, a general purpose machine gun on the side. Hey, these vehicles just park up, everybody disperse proper like military style. All I see is my girl. She turned like this, she's in the back, picks up the RPG. I say, yes, that's my girl. I'm marrying you, girl.
I need to know this.
If you see her face, you see the Indian sisters, hey, she's not playing, man.
Oh, definitely.
She gets out, she rolls out. So the door's open, she rolls out, so she proper, what I mean she roll out in a way that she kind of sticks to the wheel arch, because obviously the wheel arch has got that solid metal, so any bounce thing, she rolls round, spins round, comes up with his RPG, takes down the helicopter. I said, that's a bad bitch, I like that. I like that thing, I'm surprised you don't see it.
No,
I love that.
I was just seeing it in Extraction.
Yeah, when I watched that movie, I downloaded it as I finished because I knew I had to watch it again.
I'm definitely watching that tonight.
I knew I had to watch it again.
That's Chris Hemsworth in there as well. Yeah, that's the guy, the Thor guy. Yeah.
Yeah, there's another Indian. I don't know the other Indian guy. Someone told me he's a big actor. But I said any movie he's in, he's got long hair. Yeah, I'm gonna watch. Because he plays this role really well. Yeah,
he's a good actor. I've just googled obviously what you're talking about. Yeah, he's a good actor. I think the one you're referring to is Randeep Hooda.
Maybe.
Really good actor. He's actually does a lot of mafia movies.
Yeah, well that would make sense.
He's actually got a lot of movies called Contract, Dave D. There's an Indian gangster who moved to Dubai. It's an old school, obviously true story.
Oh, is it? So that must have been quite interesting.
Yeah, and
because you know what? I've never liked Bollywood movies because of the singing.
Too many songs, yeah.
Not even too many songs. I'm not interested in songs. If I want to listen to music, I'll do the thing. Yeah. So to me, that's just me. Everybody's teacher. My aunt loves music. She's in movies. Yeah. So my aunt watch. But for me, if I'm watching something, I don't need no one to break into no song.
I hear that.
And that's just me.
I hear that. No, I'm probably the same. Obviously,
but that movie there, and there was the Slumdog.
Yeah.
I was like. But then, mind you, I went to India before.
Oh, you've been to India?
Yeah, I've been to India. I've been to Delhi. I've been to India quite a few times.
Nice.
But but this was like 20 odd years ago when I'd gone and I spent lots of time. I've been back since then, but it wasn't really. It was just passing through.
Yeah.
But they was building the underground at that time.
Oh, the metro.
The metro.
The metro line.
Yeah. That's one of the best undergrounds in the world, you know.
100%.
Yeah, it is.
But it was the one in obviously West Bengal, the Calcutta one. That was the first one to be built.
Oh, dear.
That was the first one. That's obviously bordering Bangladesh, and now it's everywhere. Now Delhi's probably got one of the biggest metro systems in the country at the moment.
Well, I know you have to move the most amount of people, barring people like Tokyo. I don't think Mexico's got one because Tokyo and Mexico have got really big populations.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. Where
Tokyo's got a really good one. I was actually in Tokyo, Kyoto, a couple of years ago, and they've got a fantastic system. Obviously, they've got the bullet train and stuff as well.
Well, China's got bullet trains.
China's got bullet trains.
China's got more bullet trains than any other place in the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
And to me, I laugh because I said, look at everybody's criticising China, but they've got all this stuff, and we haven't got no bullet train. We haven't even got one.
The closest thing we have comparison to that is a Virgin trains.
So think about it. We should have a train going from Brighton up to Scotland
Easily within 2 hours, 3 hours maximum.
That's what we should. So everybody could go and maybe it stops in Manchester.
Yeah, like the main city kind of hub stops kind of thing.
Yeah, because then what happens? Everybody from London could go, all right, we're going to go on a piss in Manchester, boost their economy, and be back for dinner.
That's
You
it.
see what I'm saying?
That's it.
And that's how you keep your country strong.
And these kind of obviously train systems are going to help grow cities that are still slow.
Yeah, because
So obviously,
London produces 70% of the economy.
oh, so much, yeah, 100%.
So you think about it, that's all money always staying in London. Now, if you know on the weekend, you know, 1 million Londoners are going to come and influx your city.
Of course.
It's a whole other ball game, isn't it?
And the funny part is a lot of them work in London, but they actually live outside London. A lot of these actually live in Cambridge, Oxford, going into obviously Birmingham, Reading. They actually live out there. They don't live in London, but they come to work in London because that's where the money is.
Yeah.
But now obviously it's getting bigger. Obviously, even if you think about a lot of hubs going internationally, Amazon's head office has gone to obviously Ireland. A lot of hub cities are coming up. Leeds is up there. Manchester's obviously been big. Birmingham, Leicester. They're getting there. They're getting bigger because they realise there is potential around UK. It just needs to be used.
Yeah, I do also think, a lot of Northerners say to me that we need to, the government needs to spread the wealth. But my thing is, it's not about the government, it's movement of people. People go where they feel okay, and you can't tell a business they should open up their business up north because their businesses are going to open where they feel comfortable.
Exactly, where they see money coming in.
Where they see it's financially viable. Now you can say, oh well, we won't tax you so much if you open up north and not in London. But in the same sense, this is what people complain about on the same hand. It's like, well, big business comes in, they're not getting taxed.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? So
the thing is, that's the thing. They're giving incentives to these big businesses, but where does the money come from then? At the end of the day, even if you take this COVID for example, like big businesses are still getting tax reliefs and still getting help here and there, where you've got the SMEs struggling. You've got SMEs closing down every day because of COVID at the moment, because they can't survive. They physically can't survive at the moment.
I hear. So back to your business, is your company getting rid of a lot of people, or are you finding it hard?
You'd be very surprised. It's been the opposite for us. We've expanded. We recruited just under 15 people in the last 3 months.
And they're all working from home?
No, working from the office. Really? Some are working from home depending on the team. Payroll team from home, accounts from home, sales has to be in the office, meetings, etc. Client services part in the office, part from home. But with this new lockdown that's kicking in, everyone's going to be obviously working from home apart from the main management, which has to obviously be in the skeleton staff, as they say. Has to be operational from within the offices just in case something happens that management needs to look into.
You know, because I spoke to I've interviewed quite a few other companies, people who work for big corporate companies, and they were told that basically they got an email saying, how do you feel about working at home indefinitely? Kind of thing. And most people, and based on the review, it's sent out to 1,500 staff. And this company, what their job is, when you, let's say Barclays, you do a transaction, you get a text saying that you've just spent money from your account or whatever, etc., etc. That's their job as a company. So the results were that every 2 days, Monday and Tuesday you come into work. Tuesday and Thursday you stay home, and Friday you make the decision yourself. So you know, if you're on your last legs because your wife's gonna really getting on your nerves, you go to work.
Gives you a bit of break from your personal life.
And that kind of thing. But the Monday and Tuesday you have to schedule all your meetings, so depending on your team you're on and all that kind of thing. So the beauty of this is it gives the company the ability to halve their overheads in their building.
Exactly.
So that's why I was thinking it's strange that your company taking people on and saying that they need to be at work.
Some of them. So as I said, it's team dependent. Every team is obviously separate. Like with this announcement as of Saturday, we've obviously implemented as of yesterday that 90% of the staff would be from home.
Mm-hmm.
They have been obviously given the equipment and resources that they were given in the first lockdown to take PCs, etc. home, mobile phones, VoIP systems, so they can still be in contact with the rest of the team, etc. So that's been set in place as of yesterday. We are implementing that, but we're not obviously a massive firm. If you're talking size of the company, when it comes to SMEs, small, medium enterprises, we've probably in the last couple of years gone from small to medium. That's where we're growing from. So we're still a growing company, but the fact that we are able to, instead of downsize, expand in these times shows that we're doing something right. That's the positive that I take away from it. But in terms of working from home, it is easier in terms of company overheads, rent, utility costs, etc., for a business. It is definitely long-term easier, but it is each to their own when it comes down to it. Me having been in sales, I like the personable, face-to-face where possible, Zoom meetings, etc. service. Whereas being at home,
do you find the Zoom meetings are an advantage?
Yes and no. Me, the way I've been selling in the past, and I do sell for this company, personable face-to-face meetings are always better. You get to see their body language. You either go to their facilities, they come to your facilities, etc. However it may be, it just shows a bit more oomph about the.
Yeah, I hear you.
That's just a sales perspective. Any other part of the business, payroll can easily possible to obviously working remotely, working from home indefinitely. It's definitely a possibility. As you said, it's a money saver, and you can't go wrong saving money in these times as a business.
It's just set up as a principle for future things to come, isn't it? Or standard, I should say.
To be honest, this COVID has been a wake-up call for a lot of things. Business owners as well as individuals. There's been a good eye-opener for a lot of different things.
Okay, that's good. Well, we've talked about quite a bit.
Yeah.
On another note, what's the impact you want to have on this world?
The impact I want to have on this world, being in the industry that I'm in or doing what I do, is being able to help people and make their life easier. Be that through sales or be that through providing services that they need, making, as I said, make life easier. So my sales side of it, my consultancy firm side of it is about outsourcing services, so it brings more clients in, makes the company or the business's way to promote easier, recruit them so they have an easier way of going about doing their business. It's about
Okay. Well, thanks for that. We hope you liked that episode. Keeping in mind, we never know who we're going to interview. We post twice a day, 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. GMT. Have you ever considered the future economies to invest in? Why not listen to our sister podcast, Africa Investor Stories? Considering Africa has the fastest growing economies and population on Earth and has done for many years, it holds 30% of the world's known natural resources. We publish twice a week, Tuesday with a guest investor and Fridays talking about investment, politics and history, providing a clear understanding for any potential investor.